What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Gamers for Life podcast, reaching every Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, discussing all things games. I'm one of your hosts, Terrell. With me is my co-host, Arthur Thomas. What's happening, my guy?
Not much. Just been chilling over a good long weekend. I gave myself Friday off to enjoy Battlefield launch day. So my weekend's been beer, the three B's: beer, Battlefield, and beef. Had a few steaks this weekend. Had some beef chunks with rice and veggies for lunch / I guess dinner. So
That's
it's been chilling, my dude. Cooking and
way better than the what is it? The Better Business Bureau, whatever it is.
Oh yeah, right. The three B's.
Prefer your three B's there. So very nice, man. Yeah,
Battlefield goes. Oh, so yeah, Battlefield goes great with beer.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, everybody, if you're watching this, hello. Of course, be sure to subscribe here to at G4L Podcast. That is our YouTube channel for Gamers for Life. So we would thank you again for subscribing. That's where Arthur does the streams on the channel for Gamers for Life. And everything else, when it comes to our episodes, of course. Be sure just to tune in. So be sure to subscribe. We definitely would appreciate that. Here at the Games for Life podcast, we read the news while you can watch or listen to me choose by clicking on the links to the time code to go to what segment / topic that we talk about. Or you can just hang out with us here at the Games for Life podcast, because there's really three big things that recently that has come out that we should be having a discussion about. So first thing, man, fucking Battlefield 6, they did it. It's kind of...
We're back.
We're back. It's really insane, because I remember originally I was with you as far as hold the line, don't pre-order it. We've seen this bullshit before. They had that initial trailer that seemed pretty cool, but I was just like, you know what? Nope. And then they released another trailer that was more gameplay esque, and then they announced the beta. And that kind of made me tilt my head a little bit. I was like, oh no, this is... Something is different. Something is very planned, and it seems like they've done a lot of work onto it. And then I know the episode where I was telling you about the beta, and you were like, "Nah, man, fuck that."
Fuck EA.
For a good reason, right? Because they have a track record of just fucking people over. Whether you're a customer or an employee, they just know for that. And lo and behold, playing the beta, we're like, it's kind of weird for me to say this, but this is really good. You know what I mean?
The beta was so good. The beta shocked a lot of people, myself included. Because I got into Battlefield late. My first Battlefield was Battlefield 4, but it was towards the end of Battlefield 4. Like, I want to say only really, I'm not even joking, like less than 3 to 4 months after I got into Battlefield 4, Battlefield 1 was announced, and they had that trailer to this day that just fucking hits, like the bum 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 bum, Seven Nation Armies. It's like double, double good choice of words.
Yeah.
If you know the history of the Seven Nation Army. So to go from Battlefield 4 to Battlefield 1 to Battlefield 5, and I never even touched. I never played one match. I never installed Battlefield 2042. Didn't want that touching my fucking system. And yeah, to where we both cracked, and hell, I even got the special edition of Battlefield. I didn't get the collector's edition that came with a case and like an actual case and all this shit. But no, I remember a while back around Earth Day, I traded my Xbox. I got 42069. People were like, "Oh, that's real? Oh shit! I left to trade in my game. I left to trade in my Xbox that fucking day." So I used that to go towards the Battlefield Special Edition. I never even touched it, and yeah, man, EA. I just can't believe EA actually fucking did it. That's weird to say. EA is capable of making a good game. Yeah, man. I mean, the developers like BioWare are ass. They just are. Sorry. Yeah. Working backwards, Veilguard, Anthem, Andromeda. Wow, Game of the Year contenders, those bunch, right? So again, they go from those to fucking Battlefield 6. I can't believe how fun this game is. And it's just hilarious how in the year of our Lord 2025 people unironically watch or listen to IGN because they think they're a good game journalists. IGN is a joke amongst themselves. The reason we're bringing this up is because IGN multiplayer got a 6, and this is comparing to Veilguard. They give a 9, fucking 9. HR meeting talking down to insufferable fucking characters. Remember Drell? It's an RPG. Oh, but you can't be bad. And this is BioWare. God damn it. That was real quick rant. Just sorry. Just playing Mass Effect 3's Renegade system to then immediately playing Dragon Age: The Veilguard. You would never know it's by the same company. All these modern day companies that we talked about a million times before that they're Apple too much is like we talked about this before. Veilguard, Bungie, 343, which is now Halo Studios. All these companies are like, by the makers of Blake. Yeah, by logo only. Like, that's it. Like, that. Like, BioWare was the maker of Mass Effect, everything else. So, the fact anyone gives any hope to what BioWare is in the modern day is it's laughable. And IGN is horrible. Laughably, that's like a joke amongst themselves. So, yeah. So, according to IGN, if you want to play a game that's 9 out of 10, go play Veilguard. And if you want to slum through the muck to how dare you have unapologetic fun, go play the 6 out of 10 Battlefield 6. Which, I'll say right now, is up for contender, not for Game of the Year, but in the category of best multiplayer game, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, no, yeah, and just to kind of add on to what you were saying as far as for IGN a bit, and then going back to Battlefield, but it's really a shame because, you know, I was an avid listener of their podcasts for IGN, and then also, you know, reading some of their articles and stuff, and I remember the primetime days, like the main days of like the really when the crew was on, you know,
Yeah.
where you had Brian Altano, which I think he's technically still there, like Ryan McCaffrey, Greg Miller, Colin Moriarty, Charles Lanazard, I forget her real name, was considered call her Charles Lanazard. But yeah, just like Marty Sleva, like those were just really great journalists and really entertaining people as well, just on IGN. And it's just everything paradigm shift and changed and got weird and corporate, like overly corporatized. Like there's corporate where it's like it doesn't have to feel like corporate, and then there's corporate where it's like, okay, you guys clearly have an agenda because your rating systems make zero sense and your descriptions don't make any sense. They're not very descriptive at all. It seems like people didn't really play the game, you know, and just have weird biased opinions on shit. And it's just really disgusting. And with Battlefield, you know, this is one of the best. This is one of the best smooth multiplayer launches I've seen in a long time.
Long time.
This is a significant achievement, you know, and I think people don't understand how much that is because typically multiplayer is very difficult to have such a smooth launch just because, you know, you have the pressure of all these things hitting the server, you know, and then like fixing different issues and whatnot. Like even Space Marine 2, even though I'm a huge fan of Space Marine 2, I love that game, great multiplayer game. There's a couple issues they had to iron out, you know, when it comes to like the cross platform stuff.
Their servers at launch, their cross-platform servers at launch were not great at launch.
Yeah, not at launch, you know, but they worked hard at it. They ironed the shit out. They fixed it up, and you know, and it was you know, it was good. But it was just an even crazier achievement on them being to execute that, and the game was fun. So it's just like it's funny because everybody knows at this point, for those who've been playing, you know, especially for the millennium, you know, for our generation, the '90s kids, we know that this is bullshit. You know what I mean? We know that this is like ridiculous, weird, like you're not really a fan of games, or you never played this game, or you clearly have an agenda. Someone told you to do this, so you can get a check. Like it's ridiculous. And a lot of these people left. A lot of people that I liked on IGN left, or just are applying their energy towards other things. A lot of people are on a lot of them are streamers. They're just doing other shit. So and it just goes to show that. But back to Battlefield. I'm having a hell of a time. I haven't played the campaign. I will play the campaign because, they worked hard at it. I know it's not the best campaign it is, but people are so goddamn particular in first-person shooter campaigns. It's like, what do you really want out of a first-person shooter campaign? Like it can't be 40 hours. Like, what do you fucking want? So I'm definitely gonna play it. Just because they put the work in to do it. Hell, I might try it on the Steam Deck or something and see if it plays, or on my ROG Ally. I have it plugged up as a Steam console into my my computer screen. But yeah, I think bravo, bravo. It's good to be an engineer again. It's good to fix the tank as you're riding through, and I'm getting back and shooting the canisters as it's blowing shit up. It's fun shit. You driving off, boosting up. I'm like, oh shit,
I'm the type, when I have those off-road vehicles, I'm the type of guy that plays Battlefield that's like, roads, where we're going, we don't need roads, and I just like, fucking, is it Earth? I'll drive over it. And yeah, and to Joel's point, it's really refreshing to play a class-based, large-scale shooter to this degree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 64, what is it? It's 32 by 32 for total 64, or feels like 64 versus 64. I'm already forgetting, but it's awesome, man. Here's some stats, Drill. Here's some stats. I have the good old Steam charts.
Oh, nice.
Pulled
Lay it
up.
on us. What's going on?
So offhand, do you know the top peak player count right now for Battlefield 6 since it's launched a few days ago?
It used to be It was 750,000 or something, right? But I think it was.
Yep, just shy of 750, 747. Okay. Do you know Black Ops 6's all-time player count? For Steam?
4 or 5.
Shy of 500,000. 491.
Okay.
Now, here's something I find interesting. The beta, the free beta, peaked for Battlefield 6. The Battlefield 6 free open beta peaked at 521,000. 200,000 more fucking people paid for this game than played it for free during the beta. That makes me think that's probably one of the most successful open betas in modern gaming, period.
That is crazy.
Because normally we'll see like a free open beta, like, I'll say numbers, like peak at 300,000 and have like 200,000 at launch. We don't see it increase like that, like not to that degree. Like that's insane to me that they had, like I said, 500,000 people during the open beta. Because even Call of Duty people are like, no man, well, it's free, duh, more people are going to play when it's free and it's a time limited event, duh, of course more people are going to play a free time limited event. And then Q launch weekend on a Friday. Here's the other thing, Drill. Kudos to Battlefield releasing this game on a Friday. You and I used to talk about this shit long ago, is when it was like a contract, like games had to come out on a Tuesday. It's like you really don't have that launch experience. Like there's launch weekend, but there's no like launch day. Like even Helldivers 2, we have a gripe about this. I still have a fucking gripe about this. Stop making all their orders and events go live on a fucking Tuesday. We have jobs, my dude.
Right.
Stop making Tuesdays your fucking day. Stop it. But nah. Battlefield 6, I'm going to sing a couple praises here, Drill. Here's another kudos that EA could have did, and they did not. And I'm surprised they didn't, and I'm kind of proud they didn't. They did not do the common thing where if you pre-ordered a special edition, you play it X days early. They didn't have that. And I'm glad they didn't, because release day, you and I were there, Drill, felt like a fucking release day.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
awesome. It wasn't a worry. Like, it wasn't even a complaint. Like, I didn't have a complaint trail. When I played the game at like 10:05, 5 minutes after launch, and I was like number 450,000 in queue. That wasn't a complaint. That was like, holy shit, we're back, we're in. I don't care. I don't
Yeah.
care. I'm roughly 500,000 people behind in queue to play this game. I had to wait like 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, fine. But the fact that they did not do the early release thing, I think it made it that like that feeling that gamers don't really have anymore of like an event. Like Battlefield
Yeah.
6's this launch weekend felt like an event.
Right.
We're
Yeah.
not done.
Yeah.
But it really did feel like an event to be like, God damn, they'll play it day one, and you see people like us crashing helicopters, fucking drills laying mines everywhere to blow up tanks, and it's just, and yeah, man, for EA to not have, for EA to not, like I said, for EA of all publishers to not fuck this up, it's awesome. I'm not
Yeah.
all in 10 toes deep on EA because they still made Veilguard. And spoiler, those layoffs are coming. And like I said, not to go down the rabbit hole, the community will celebrate it. When more and more and more layoffs come BioWare's way, I feel bad. People are going to celebrate it. I still say this again. One of my last things towards Veilguard. Not my last thing, probably one of my last things towards Veilguard. I swear to God, if you work for a company, and unless you work for the marketing or social media team, stay the fuck. Just keep your mouth shut. Just shut it. Because if you get political, you're immediately alienating half your fan base. Doesn't matter what side of the fence you lean on. It's just where it is. You're like, yay, red things. You're alienating all the blue people. Yay, blue things. You're alienating all the red people. Stop it. Shut up. But here we are for Battlefield. I didn't hear anything about these developers. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like there was like, remember Joe? Remember that was that one Halo. Remember one of the execs, one of like a higher up exec or higher up developer for what's now called Halo Studios was like, yeah, I hate guns. I hate making game about guns. Why do people even play games about guns? Like motherfucker, why do you have a job at Halo? Go work for Stardew Valley. I mean, go make
Because
go make
someone just
Pokemon.
left. A director just left from Halo Studios. I wonder if
Are you
it's the
think?
same person. Like
No, this was a developer.
This is like 2 weeks ago.
Are you thinking Halo or Bungie?
Mm,
Because a Bungie
no,
director got their stock options and dipped the fuck out.
no, I know that happened.
Yeah.
But I've heard someone from Halo Studios
Yeah.
also left as well.
This particular person wasn't truly administrative role. Like, they had hands on the game, and they were like, "Yeah, I hate guns. I hate making games about guns." Like, then go work for fucking Pokemon. Go work for fucking. Go work for Nintendo. Go make Animal Crossing. You know what I mean? Go work. Go work. Go work. Go make the next fucking Monkey Ball. Get the fuck off Halo. We like.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead,
so
go
to
ahead.
not rabbit hole too much. What I'm saying is I didn't hear any fucking controversy about this game. Like here's what I mean by that, Drill. Think of Assassin's Creed Shadows. It felt like twice a month we had someone from the company put their foot in their mouth and say something that made people make like the game less. You see what I'm saying? Like it was either there was a blue what's that? Twitter, but not Twitter, Blue Sky. There was like a Blue Sky post, a Reddit post, an Instagram post, a Twitter post, something. Like something from Ubisoft would just be unhinged and run their fucking mouth. And remember, it's like I feel like I said, it was like twice a month, once a month. Something was like, "Ooh, we released a new figurine." Hey game, I know you're supposed to be the most historically accurate game ever made by Assassin's Creed. You're kind of celebrating the fucking the Hiroshima atrocity, atomic bombing. Ooh, you know what I mean? Or like, hey, here's our main guy that said it, that here's our main guy that was your main historian for the whole game. He's actually being fired and sued because he's not accredited. He's actually not accredited. But that's what I'm saying. It was like with Assassin's Creed Shadows. It's like every month we got closer to release, something came out that would turn you away from the game. We didn't have any of that with EA. We had none of that with DICE. what I'm saying? It was just like all we heard about was the beta and trailers closer to release date, and now here we are.
Yeah, I have a lot. I have a lot to say about this. So when it comes to Battlefield, you definitely are right. You know, they were just very focused on their goal of releasing a quality game, optimizing it appropriately, unlike Brandy Pitchford's fucking dumbass, and his egotistical weird bullshit trying to suck stockholders' dick. Like, you know, just making people like act like that they're crazy, you know, versus actually having a quality product. I'm like,
Telling console players it's their fault. Telling console customers it's their fault. Borderlands 4 doesn't work right.
yeah, he's a fucking idiot. He's a fucking idiot, and he's a maniac, and he shouldn't be where he is. But they were focused. They were focused on releasing a quality product and game, and they delivered. You know, and I think they did a really great job making sure that the bullshit, the board members and the CEO, you know, dickheads, to not impede on their success, because we know, unfortunately, after this release, there could be some bullshit that comes along where they want to, you know, move the goalpost and have some bullshit goal, you know. And to your point of CEOs being in position for, you know, for games that they shouldn't be elite CEOs of, I feel like there's a bunch of people with money, and they're just being put into power as CEOs to make games like that we love, like Battlefield, into mobile games. You know, oh, I don't like playing with guns. We need to change that. You know what I mean? And then they just
Dragon Age the Veilguard was supposed to be live service.
Yeah, they just think that. Yeah, they just want to make everything a mobile game, squeeze as much money out of everybody as possible, and you know, and have these condescending, you know, just like offensive sentiments where they feel like they're doing the right thing when really they're just being condescending, and it's just kind of hindering those things. Speaking about Ubisoft, Ubisoft, one, they're cowards. They're fucking losers. Like they don't know how to make good quality games. They are, you know, like they're just, I've stopped respecting Ubisoft many fucking years ago. The thing about Ubisoft, and the thing about a lot of these companies that don't know what the fuck they're doing, but they have a lot of money, is that there's so many people where they don't do proper research on shit, right? So like Hellblade, right? Hellblade, where you have the main character, she has psychosis, right? You're not just gonna make up a bunch of shit on psychosis. Psychosis is a real thing. Have a professional talk about the real thing, right? Of at least having that experience where it's close to facts, right? To, you know, when it comes to at least that specifically. Obviously, everything else can be fiction, whatever story you decide to make. But when you're talking about something very specific like that, and you need to have a professional, because you don't know what the fuck you're doing, right? So Assassin's Creed Shadows, they shit the bed. They had someone on it that shouldn't have been qualified to do it, right? And to me, it just belittled Yasuke, to me, in my opinion. And they specifically made the other character, you know, the forefront, because they're too much fucking cowards of having an African American front. That's just my opinion, personally. And me proving this theory is where the next Assassin's Creed was going to be. He was going to be an assassin who was either formerly a slave or currently a slave, and They took it down because the fucking racist and white nationalists and all that bullshit. They were like, "Oh, we don't like that," blah blah blah, blah. And they took it down because they're fucking cowards and they're assholes. So fuck them, right? And I'm so tired of people like that are impeding on our gaming on games. Like, I'm tired of it.
Look at the Ubisoft team. Like, there's photos of like, hey, here's our production team. Look at the team that made Assassin's Creed 3, and look at the team that made Assassin's Creed now. Spoiler: a bunch of bored French white women aren't the best to handle fucking black Japanese samurai.
Like, yeah, and again, it's like, if you like, again, it's because like there was a really interesting point when I was listening to the VGC podcast. And one of the guys, English guy, but he, you know, he's pretty versed in various cultures because he travels a lot, you know, in his journalist stuff. He was saying, you know, like, American history isn't taught outside of America. You know what I mean? Like it's not really a thing. So when it comes to things that they attach to, it's like, oh, I didn't know this was this. You know what I mean? Sometimes, unfortunately, it's leaning on really poor sources, such as a fucking Ubisoft game. You know, so but the point of why I said that was that if you have a company outside of the U.S. that doesn't know shit about American history, you're doing a game on American history, have a fucking professional person that knows that and to portray it in the correct way that it is, you know. So that is kind of that's kind of one of the huge problems. So to me, it's not about upsetting the left or the right. Facts are facts. History is history. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is. You know, but stand on your nuts. Do it right. That's my thing. Do it right. You know, Red Dead Redemption 2 or the Red Dead Redemption series. There's a lot of racist like people in the screenplay, but they portray it accurate because there's racist people or there's people that say like really shitty things about like
I can't watch I can't watch Django Unchained because it's so triggering because they say the N word. If it was the fucking 1800s, what do you fucking want them to say? Hello, welcome. I am down with it because I'm a hashtag ally, and that's how people talk in the fucking 1800s.
Yeah, it's just it's just portray things as they were. Do it the accurate way. You know what I mean? That's kind of my thing. And then just do it with quality. Do it like you're respecting, even though it's an awful thing. Do it in a way of respect, which means do it the accurate way possible within that. Everything else fictional is up to you, right? Everything else is up to you. And that's what a lot of these companies either don't know or they don't care about. And, as someone who plays games, you just have to, you have to put I don't know, put your money where your mouth is the right thing. But just, if you're not going to pay money on some bullshit, don't pay some money on some bullshit, and then call people out. You know what I mean? So yeah, when it comes to Battlefield, tying back to Battlefield before we switch back, I was really happy to see that it seemed like people that worked on Battlefield were folks that were, fans of Battlefield, that worked on maybe some prior Battlefields that we really appreciated. Battlefield 1, Battlefield 3, the Bad Company series. I started Battlefield from the Bad Company days. So I remember Bad Company 1, the controls were terrible, but I really appreciated everything else. And then Bad Company 2, I was like, I've never played a game like this before. This is so fucking fun, so fun. And
I think one thing to add to your point is I think a lot of people are going to have their first Battlefield moment because of this game.
Yeah.
Like I was a lifelong Call of Duty fan. Like I remember being in college when Modern Warfare 1, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, like Black Ops 1 and 2, Modern Warfare 1 through 3. That was like the second golden era of Call of Duty since the PlayStation 2 days. But even then, even that golden era of Call of Duty, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 1 through 3, I played one match of Battlefield 4 online, not the campaign, online. And I was like, holy shit, I drove a boat, drove a jet ski, flew a helicopter, drove a tank, jumped off a building, fucking drove through a building. I was like, holy shit, I'm never playing Call of Duty again. I think there's a lot of people that are going to have that Battlefield moment. Yours was Battlefield Bad Company 2. A lot of people had it in Battlefield Bad Company 2 where, like, you've heard it from me. I have my LMG and I have my penetration rounds, and it's like, oh, there's a fence. I can't see past the fence. I'm going to shoot the fence until it goes away so I can see past the fence. And that, like, or you're in a tank. Like, oh, there's a lot of snipers in that building. Or there will be snipers in that building. Let me blow up the fucking building so there can't be snipers in there. And so a lot of people, I think, this weekend are having their first, like, Battlefield moment. And like I said, sorry to, like, kind of cut you out there, but it's like I said, for like a lot of us that went from Call of Duty, it's like a lot of us have that moment. For the friends I play with, a lot of theirs was Battlefield 1. You know what I mean? Like, I played Battlefield 4, and I had all my Call of Duty friends, and we got on Battlefield 1, and we all remember seeing our first Zeppelin go down, like, holy shit, wow! It didn't just phase onto existence. It didn't fly off into the sunset. It didn't, phase out. It was like, no, it's going to crash and be rubble and be part of the game. Like, be part of the level. And, like, if you're under it, that doesn't...
One of the best first-person shooter campaigns I've ever played.
Ever!
That is a prime example of respecting the history of what you're doing. You know what I mean? And of course, they can apply some fiction around it.
Yeah.
But how they portrayed that campaign, like, prime example.
For those of you who want some context, The Battlefield 1 campaign's not really a like one mission start to end. It's a series of chapters of a bunch of stories that took place during World War One that are historical. And like I said, yeah, there may have been like, I don't know, a little glorification here or there, but these are historical things. Like the opening mission to Battlefield 1 is the Harlem Hellfighters. And then at some point you go into the British Tank Division, and then you have the famous Lawrence of Arabia. I get it, that story is like controversy, but at the end of the day, like these stories were true. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like, and going for the Ubisoft thing is like, yeah, when you take a piece of you're going to make historical fiction, which these video games are. Like again, when Ubisoft was like, "Hey guys, let me be historically accurate," no one fucking cared. I stopped playing Assassin's Creed when it was about time traveling interdimensional aliens. I was like, I'm out. I just want to stab rich Europeans. I don't give a fuck about these fucking apples of Eden shit. I was like, I just want to stab aristocrats. God, that's all I fucking want in life. And so again, when they're like, "Hey guys, we're gonna take pride and make this historical accurate fiction ever," and it's like, "Oh, were you taking liberties? Like how much Yusuke was a samurai?" No, we're taking liberties that he was actually trans and bi. God damn it! I mean, it's like historical fiction. That's it. That's like it's so common drill. A genre and word exists for it.
Right.
So,
and for context, the reason why I nod is because it's that, what is the word that we usually say? Not gaslighting.
pandering.
Pandering. Thank you.
It's pandering.
I shake my head because it's pandering because they're doing it to get that audience to buy their game, not for an accurate sentiment if that character was actually that. That's the reason why I do that.
Even though they themselves said it was going to be the most historical accurate game. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Kind of like tangents, but it's, again, to tie all this in, no one, whether it was CEOs, executives, administration, or developers, no one ran their fucking mouth about this game. No one. That shit was airtight. It's like, we're gonna release trailers and nothing fucking else. You can tell your friends you work for the company. Don't open your fucking mouth. You know what I mean? Because whereas Ubisoft was like the opposite.
Yeah, and I think they saw power in those numbers, right? They saw power in those numbers in the beta. They saw power in the numbers in the pre-orders. They saw the positive feedback and everything. So it wasn't like they had to create some bullshit media thing to fuck up everything from a narrative perspective, like some sort of social media man to say some stupid shit. They just saw the numbers, and I would like to say in my brain, DICE was like, let us do our fucking job. We have it. The team is working hard. We will have this ready to go. You will get the numbers that you want. You know what I mean? That's in my mind. That's how I hope that conversation happened.
I'm imagining the same thing too. Is when they had 500,000 people play their open beta, let the product speak for itself. It's exactly. Baffling fucking concept in 2025. Let the product speak for itself. Because here's the thing, Joe. Because again, a lot of people think the customers are dumb. For the most part, we're not. So if anything, if you released a mediocre beta, the more we heard from your administrative roles, the less we would respect it. We don't like HR speak. We don't like intangible answers that go in circles or just smelling people's farts and tick off boxes. It's like, well, hey, what'd you think about the beta? Well, it had a lot of representation. That game already sounds shit to me. The game where, like, we talked about this, I know about it because my stream drill, your clip about Chinese Myth Wukong, Black Myth Wukong is one of my, like, AFK pod clips where it's like, we don't give a fuck about all the other things behind the scenes. Just tell us that the game's good. How is the blocking? How's the dodging? How's the leveling up? How's the pairing? How does this work? How's the combat? How's the enemies? How's the progression? How's the open world? Is there bugs? Is there glitches? Tell us about this. Well, it's progressive. And this game about Chinese mythology doesn't have a lot of representation. I went to play Black Myth Wukong, a game developed in China about Chinese mythology, and there is no black dude taking Asian trans dick, so I don't like this game. But now Assassin's Creed Shadows, oh man, that black main character loves taking Asian dick, so it's going to be a good game. So yeah, Battlefield has none of that bullshit. Go play
Wait to see
Battlefield.
how Riverside makes a clip about that.
I don't know,
Jesus
man.
Christ. No,
It's
I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you 100% on that. On that note, I think we should transition. See what I did there. To the next topic, and this has pissed a lot of people off, rightfully so, because the prices of the subscription for Xbox Game Pass first went from a reasonable cost, well, $14.99, $16.99. And now Microsoft is completely off their fucking rocker with the Ultimate Edition being $30 a month now. And this is right before they announced that their ROG Xbox Ally, those prices increases, specifically with the Xbox Ally X being $1,000. And then this is before them saying that everything is an Xbox. And now they're saying that they're not done with hardware. It's like, you guys are either really fucking stupid, or everything you've been saying when it comes to all these game conferences, when it comes to all of these showcases, you know what's funny, Arthur? They used to have those conferences, and when Phil Spencer would speak to you, he used to be speaking to the customer that would buy it to play it. Right? That used to be
he used to lead those conferences and make them trustworthy. Like, he avoided the corpo speak, and we've been hearing a lot of that the last year or two.
Right, but my main point is that it used to be they were talking to customers and gamers. Now they're just talking to board members and shareholders. Those showcases, the recent conferences, all of their corporate speak, like you said, when they're looking into the camera and we're watching it, they're not doing it for the customer. They're doing it to satisfy their shareholders. Stakeholders. Right. And this is a prime fucking example. Why would you talk to a customer and say, "Hey, you're going to spend $30 now"? What? After you said everything's an Xbox, after you said that Xbox Ally X is $1,000, you were expecting me to spend $30 now? Like, I've made $5, $10, $15, even $20 mistakes. I rarely make $30 mistakes.
$30 and above, you're right. It's like the old school. I don't know what the new generation thinks about it, but like $20. $20 back in the day was like that benchmark of like, yeah, always $10, yeah, always 15. $20? Ooh, I don't know about that, man.
That used to be 2 large pizzas, right? After delivery and all that stuff.
Dude, that used to be 4 Little Caesars hot and ready to go fucking pizzas, bro. Like, dude, like, hey, do you want to waste 4 hot and ready Little Caesars pizzas? I don't know about that shit. I'm not buying Game Pass.
And now it's 6 hot and ready.
Yeah.
6 hot and ready.
And yeah. Again, we had a bye week because we had some other stuff. But here's the thing again. The site to cancel Game Pass crashed. Fucking crashed, dude. I would say I was one of them, but I canceled my Game Pass a few months ago. We called this shit a mile out. They're going to raise their prices.
Right.
And here's the thing, too, Drill. They're also testing in a few countries ads. So this is not a new, I'm going to say mechanic. I'll talk about gaming. It's a business. Is it a business model? No, it's a business mechanic. Yeah, the pairing system of the legal system's really good, apparently. The business model they're going to have, Drill, is they're testing out ads. So in order for them to quantify and legitimize the price increase, they're doing what many companies do, is where they devalue their free one. So they make their free existing tier shitty to push you towards the money one. A lot of people are calling it the YouTube Premium mentality, where you just put so many fucking ads in your regular videos, where it's like, we have this ad-free service. You're like, fuck it. But,
right.
But I think that
oh, go ahead.
But I was gonna say, I think they've pushed so many people away from Xbox. I think they pushed so many people away from Xbox permanently. They're not gonna see the return they hope for. Because there's people like me, like I traded my like, dude, I went from what was it? I went from like Dick Ride Game Pass to fuck Game Pass. I've traded in my Xbox. Um, I bought 3 last games on Xbox Store. I'm done. That's it. Like, and even then, Drill, like all their new games coming out. First off, here's the thing, Drill, tying in everything Xbox has done in the past like not even 5, like 3 years. There's nothing exclusive now. No one's gonna want to pay for Game Pass. And if we do want to pay for the games, I doubt it's gonna be their first party titles because there is not one day one first party Microsoft Studio Xbox game that people are excited for. Not one. There's other third party games that were announced at the Xbox showcase, like Clockwork Revolution, that game we were talking about, but that's not like an in-house fucking game. Oh, what about Halo Studios? Fuck you. Like go eat dirt. Like
Yeah, that's gonna crash and burn. I'm calling it now.
Go keep eating someone else's shit and convincing yourself it's a fucking brownie. Like no. So and then Sea of Thieves. Sure, there's a community for that, but it's not like major. You know what I mean? Hell, even for me, for those of you listening that want to take a break from Sea of Thieves, go play Yakuza Pirate Like a Dragon. Holy shit, that is a goddamn pirate game you want to play.
Yeah, you're having a field day with that one.
Definitely. Yeah, Yakuza Pirate Like a Dragon is like one of the funnest games I've played in forever. It's refreshingly fun. Where we say Battlefield is like a refreshingly shooter-based game. Space Marine 2 was like a refreshing action gore game. Yakuza Like a Pirate Hawaii is refreshingly fun. I feel like if the Saints Row remake didn't shit the bed, it would feel like this. You know what I mean? Good writing, funny characters, and oh my god, Drell, I can't believe they're so egregious. There's women in the game, Drell, are attractive. They're in bikinis. Oh, Drell, did you know a game that takes place in Hawaii where there's a beach? Women are in bikinis, and it's like whatever, man. It's like real quick tangent. I like how people are like, oh, we should make realistic expectations. Bro, my old Instagram feed would tell you that shit's realistic. Women, I always joke. A lot of guys' Instagram feed was like either bullshit or just like tits. I was like, that's not a realistic expectation of a woman. Scroll through social media more, and there's a website called OnlyFans. And you'll see a lot of examples. That's a realistic expectation. But sorry, like I said, Yakuza Pirate, go play it. It's fun. But Xbox, man, like, I don't know anyone that's like looking at this like it's a good. I don't know if there's anyone that's like defending it or like this is a good idea. Like they're dead.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that because some people are, probably like our former co-host. Some people are justifying like, like, hey, well, is GeForce Now like you think that's worth it? Worth $30 a month, and then the problem is, and I want to get into this conversation too, is the power versus access over ownership, right? The people are saying, some people are saying that it's worth it is because you have access to all of these games for a $30 cost, and the fact that there's so many games to access that there's still a value to it. The problem is for me as a gamer, one, I don't have the hours of the day to play an exceedingly amount of games at a specific point in time because I'm a fucking adult and I have shit I have to do, and there's, I have to provide and things of that nature. So I play games when I can play them. I might buy them, but I'll play them later, maybe a month or 2 months later. So and obviously the middle of the line answer is that it depends on the person. But I would say when it comes to someone who just has an everyday job, and I would prefer just to own the shit that I buy and play it later. You know what I mean? Or I'm not paying a specific subscription where I don't have access to it unless I'm specifically paying. Like that is to me, that does nothing for me as a customer. You know what I mean? Like I would rather just pay for what I would want to what I would want to pay for, specifically when you have a library of games that are cheap as fuck other places, right? GOG has a lot of those games fucking cheap. In GOG, there's no DRM. You own those games.
You own it.
And
I was looking
install
at
them.
I was looking to Steam under $10 section right before we joined.
Right? And Steam doesn't right? Because some people say, well, Steam, you don't own your games either. Yes, but I've had those same games in my library for 10 years and I can still play them. Right? Like that, to me, that's the right way of access versus over ownership. Steam makes it in a way where you have access to it so much at such a low cost comparatively. It almost feels like ownership because they give you the ability to just fucking go and play it. Sometimes you may have to download specific drivers because certain games are made fucking weird, and but luckily when you have Steam OS, it does make it a lot. To me, it makes it a lot easier for you to download those drivers because it kind of does it for you when it comes to the Steam OS. But if you don't have Steam OS, but you have the Steam application, to me, it's still worth it. Sometimes you may just have to find the driver to download it and play it. But my point is that there's more of an ownership feel for Steam because you have games that you purchase and you don't have to purchase a monthly $30 fucking subscription. Like, I'm sorry, the majority of Americans, I would guess that the majority of Americans don't find it worth it. They don't find it worth it for that fucking much. It's different. It's different when you have $10, $15, maybe even $20. $30. How much is that a year, Arthur?
$360.
Like that's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like that's a gym membership. It's that's a ridiculous amount. That's a ridiculous amount. And then specifically, they're talking about how they're going to be working on more hardware. Okay, so you guys want to justify that you're actually a company that cares about games again and cares about customers again? Because all I've heard is corporate speak and how you guys want to satisfy your board members and stakeholders, and you don't want to you're not really giving a shit about the middle of the road gamer that just that doesn't feel like $1,000 is worth it for the Xbox X Ally. That doesn't feel like that it's worth it to pay $30 a month. To me, it's just. It's not a complicated math, so it's just pure greed. I feel like there is no really excuse to it. It's just being pure greed, and I'm tired of seeing Sarah Bond's fucking face smile at the camera and say,
"Well, hey, okay, you don't speak for all of us, okay? I do not mind seeing more Sarah Bond. You don't speak for all of us. Now, I don't like what she says, but to say we all don't like staring at her face." You don't speak for all of us, okay?
Something is wrong when you say that Xbox Game Pass is profitable, but then you cut the discount prices for the games that you could originally buy through Game Pass. You make it more expensive. You're cutting out features. You're cutting out features from prior things. Like, is it really that fun? Like, to me, there's very much a mixed messaging, and that's even aside from all those leaked documents that were leaked. To show that it's profitable. And it's like, profitable for who, really? And if it's really that profitable, are you cutting all that shit because you're trying to make more profit? Because it's not as profitable as you say you are because you're lying to us? Or are you just being, fucking greedy horse? So I just don't have time for their bullshit anymore. You know what I mean? And like Steam's where it's at for me. I'm curious about what PlayStation does when it comes to like their next stuff, because it's fucking insane that
Dude,
PlayStation 5 is.
Xbox
I
has
skipped
given
that generation.
Xbox has given PlayStation the ability to do fucking nothing. Like, I'm not even joking. PlayStation could do nothing, and they'll still be considered winning. Now, if they were to announce they're canceling fair games, then that would be an extra something. But till then, but I'm serious. Like this whole back and forth console war. They've given PlayStation the freedom to do whatever the fuck they want, and as long as they don't shit the bed, they're still winning. And that's one thing you hinted at, Gerald. I'll say this. Value for this thing. Like, before, okay, I would rather buy 3 good games than at full price. Deluxe edition, like Battlefield. then have access to, no offense, a ton of games I would never play. Good or bad regardless. Quality, now let's be honest, not every fucking Game Pass game is like Oblivion Remastered, which, by the way, they never fixed the whole glitch drill. The more you save the game, the more it slows it down. So people that are playing at the X 100-hour mark are noticing issues that can't be fixed.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't know about that. That's fucking crazy.
It's Skyrim. Like I said, what's that? Bethesda game engine not having longevity? What? So here's, like I said, here's the thing, man. It's like yeah, look, if there's one game that's coming out and you're gonna play for 2 months, it's worth it. The second you get to the 3-month category, get rid of it. And here's the problem too. You mentioned this. I used to praise Game Pass because it was a doorway for you to play games, get introduced to developers and publishers you would have never heard of. We both know Coffee Stain because of 2 different games. Coffee Stain's a publisher. You know Coffee Stain because of Valheim. I know Coffee Stain because of Deep Rock Galactic.
Yep.
And now, for those of you not aware, only the highest tier of Game Pass gives you the discount. So now, I used to praise Game Pass by being it was a good way to get people into the door to indie or to mid-sized, that middle ground. They're not indie, they're not AAA, they're middle, you know what I mean? And now that's being taken away, unless you have the highest paying tier. Because like I said, you would pay for Game Pass. Play a game you like. And then someone like me, one sec, my fan keeps being weird.
Of course, I'll take this.
Sorry, real quick.
Moment for a second. Be sure to like and subscribe to G4L Podcast.
Yeah. Sorry, my fan just keeps shutting off. What I would say is you play a game you like, and do 2 things. Either A, immediately buy it because you want to support the small developer, or B, see that it gets put in the list of leaving soon, and you buy it at a discount. But for me, the way I budget that is, well, if I'm going to pay for the game at discount, then I can essentially get a DLC for free. That's how I bought Fireteam Elite. I fell in love with Fireteam Elite through Game Pass, and I'm like, oh, Fireteam Elite's leaving? Let me buy the full bundle edition because it's on sale. And now you and I still play that now and again, And now, and now it's like, if Game Pass isn't going to have that access doorway for indie and smaller game studios, then now it just fully feels like they're just taking business away where people could have paid for that full price. You know what I mean? So before it was like, well, okay, I didn't pay for this game at launch, but I'm paying for Game Pass. I like this smaller game through Game Pass. It's leaving Game Pass. Let me buy it. But now it's like, unless you have the highest tier thing, which clearly to the point where the site crashed, no one's going to do. No one's really doing this. So it's like our lose all. You know what I mean? And so it's like, if indie's no longer going to benefit from this, and like I said, they don't have a lot of first-party titles. Like, they're hanging their hat. Like I said, they're hanging their hat, but you can play Black Ops 7 Day 1, Drell. EA just shot that fucking dog in the head. Old Yeller style. Was like, no one gives a shit. No one gives a shit about Black Ops 7 anymore. Like, there's gonna be streamers and stuff like that, but again, don't judge a game's success based off hashtags and major streamers doing it, which is really funny because that's the other thing too. No shit, Drell. Like, let's say you and I are a lifelong only COD streamer. That means COD's your lifeline. No shit, these fucking streamers are not going to shit on COD. That's their lifeline. That's how they pay the bills.
That's how they make money. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, oh, what? These streamers that make money by playing COD aren't shitting on COD? No way. Yeah. What? Shocker. So, I don't know, man.
To add to your point really quick as well, is like, I was thinking about how many games that I buy full price, right? Space Marine 2, was that last year? When that released, or 2 years ago?
Last year. They just hit their 1 year mark not too long ago.
Okay. So At this rate, currently, I'm buying a game full price once a year. To be honest with you, all the other games that I buy, they're at a massively discounted price. Because I purchased a decent amount of games during this fall sale that they had, but these were games that I bought all 3 Dead Space games for like $16. You know what I mean? And then I bought the Tetris game. It was on sale, I think, for $20. It used to be 40. And to me, that was worth it because all those games I will play and I liked having and I will have access to. But Battlefield, that was one of the games where I said, you know what? Consarn it. I will buy Battlefield, for that amount. Technically, I paid $20 because I did the 4-pay zip pay plan, but I will eventually be paying $70 for it once I pay it off. So it's like at this rate, I'm buying a game at full price once a year. But including that and Steam, I'm still saving money versus having access to games. And paying $360 a year, and then after the $360 a year, guess what? I don't fucking own anything. So it's just, to me, it's just it all depends on what people care about. But clearly, a lot of people don't like this. A lot of people are canceling. So I mean, the proof is in the pudding at this point. Regardless of however way you want to spin it, yeah, the 1%ers are always not going to have an issue with it, but there's a mass majority of gamers that aren't going to fucking. A lot of people don't believe in Xbox anymore. Obviously, like they shit in their own bed and now they're sleeping in it. So that's just what it is now. Right now, I'm rocking with Steam, and I'm rocking with. Eventually, I will get a PlayStation, not a 5, because I just feel like it was a generation that just didn't need to be there. To be honest, I feel like everything that for PS5, it was like a delay up to PS6. Maybe their next PlayStation handheld. I'm hearing that's coming in. And that's it. I feel like those are, and then retro, and then old school games like emulation. That's really, to me at this point, Xbox is really cut out of the picture, which is crazy. But that's kind of where I'm at. I think it's funny. Before I let of course let you get your last.
All good. I'm still literally window shopping. Less than $10 games on Steam. I'm about to buy the Borderlands 1 Game of the Year Enhanced Edition for $10.
Oh, nice. There you go. Do it. But yeah, I was gonna say, if there was anything that Xbox could do, and I know that they won't do this because they're fucking idiots. But if they wanted to make something that people would appreciate, that isn't a fucking subscription service. So in the world of emulation, right? Xbox emulation is very difficult, even for high-end PCs. This is because how those games are designed or whatnot. Now, aside from the Xbox Game Pass shit, if they came out with either a retro handheld or they came out with a retro, basically a PC that was disguised as an Xbox, but it had Xbox hardware and 360 hardware, and it had a bunch of those games available for you to play on the system, and you didn't have to do zero subscription, I think a lot of people would buy that, especially if it was like, and maybe not a handheld, but if there was like a box like that was just like a retro console. Because I remember PlayStation did that, Sony did that. They did that with the PlayStation 1. I wish they did it for the 2, but that's a very I think that's a very attractive thing for gamers and for the millennial gamers, 90s gamers. I think a lot of people would buy that, honestly. People would buy that more than the Xbox ROG Ally X for $1,000 for a Windows PC that's going to die in 2 fucking hours. Like, what is wrong with Microsoft? What is wrong with them?
in this economy, $1,000.
And I bought a Steam Deck. I know I didn't mention it yet on the show. I talked about it to you over on the old Texies and whatnot. But I fucking got a Steam Deck. I got the LCD. Because it was on sale on Amazon. They're all gone now. Eventually, maybe I'll buy a Steam Deck OLED, but this thing is fucking great. This thing is great.
You said it's the most ergonomic handheld that you've played, right?
Yes, it is. The design of it is fucking incredible, and it's not that heavy actually. I know we had the conversation bar as far as you saying like, "Hey, that looks really heavy." And I was like, I don't think it is. I think I held one before a long time ago, but holding it like legitimately, where it's not attached to some metal thing attached to, in like a fucking Best Buy or something. It's actually not that heavy. The weight is actually very good on it. Incredibly ergonomic. Incredibly ergonomic. So I know they recently had the Steam sale, or yeah, it seems the autumn sale where the LCD was $319 at one point. It's crazy. It might go back. It might go back on sale during the Thanksgiving weekend sale. We'll see what happens. I would say if you can save a couple more bills, get the OLED because I think the screen is great, and I plan on probably doing that in the future. I kind of have this more so for retro emulation. And then just like older games were like those older games I played on an LCD when I was a kid. So like I don't have to play those on an OLED. So I feel comfortable buying the LCD because I played those games on an LCD when I was a kid. So not really an issue for me. But yeah, I think the OLED is one to definitely consider if you want to play newer games and older games. So any lasting thoughts on this Xbox shit before we tie over to the last topic?
No, just that again. I still don't mind seeing Sarah Bond. She sees in the eyes. What?
No, yeah, no comment. I understand. I understand. So last topic here on the show, and we were kind of laughing about this. EA has been purchased by Saudi Arabia, or the I forgot what the specific corporation company over there that is Saudi Arabia owns. $55 billion, Arthur? Was that it?
Yep. So $55 billion, and again, for people like, oh, that's a lot. Here's the thing. EA was like $22 billion in debt. And real quick, side tangent, I like how that goes into like a lot of people pulling out like, God damn, dude, I can't wait to be so rich that I can be $22 billion in debt and no one give a fuck. Like, dude, whereas the rest of us are like -$1 in our bank account, Wells Fargo's like, yeah, you're too poor, so we're going to bill you for being poor.
Right.
And then EA's like, oh, whoopsies, I'm sorry. $22 billion in debt. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Please forgive me. I'm just a widow stinker. Whoopsies. So, yeah. So, I feel bad. Sorta. Layoffs are coming. I'm sorry. There's just no way around it. You can't have this many failure after failure after failure after failure with having that much oversight and middle management in fucking EA. Like I said, without going too in, how can I put this? On the topics and themes in Veilguard, even at the most minimal broad perspective, Dragon Age the Veilguard was a bad game. Its writing was fucking insufferable. You and I called it early on because you and I used to follow the old Dragon Age game. Like hell, like I said, the original Dragon Age covers used to be a blood-coated dragon. Like these are violent, gory games. You used to be able to have missions where you can sacrifice kids to level up your fucking blood magic.
Yeah.
And now this game is like, hey, when someone says this is how you're supposed to respond. Oh, did you offend somebody? Do some push-ups. Fuck you. Like and like I said, man, and that's including the team again that ran their mouth on Twitter, Blue Sky, social media. What's the other one? Reddit. On Reddit. So like I said, they're gonna get laid off. They're gonna complain, and I could get by the what feels like millions. People will cheer as they get kicked out the door. I'm sorry. I don't give a shit. Like,
you think we'll get a Saudi Arabia version of Dragon Age? There's be no women in it.
I don't know, but I like how there's I like how there's a joke. I like how there's a joke where, as I told you off stream, there's already a joke where the next Need for Speed game will be about you're a woman trying to get her driver's license in Saudi Arabia. Spoiler: Saudi Arabia just allowed women to drive like less than a decade ago.
Yeah. So did Qatar. Yeah. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Yeah.
Side note: I like how the same people are like, America's fascist. It's the worst place ever. Bitch, women just got allowed to drive. What the fuck are you talking about? so,
Yeah.
so.
Oh no. I'm sorry. Please go ahead.
Oh no, I'm just ranting. Of just like I said, it's like like again, this all like, again. I feel like Charlie Day. It's like the cork board. It all connects, man. Like I said, that's why it's drill. It's not surprising. Insufferable people make insufferable entertainers. So again, these people that were behind the writing, behind the decisions, behind a lot of the themes in Veilguard are just insufferable motherfuckers by the sound of their social media. So when they write a game, it's insufferable writing. And so again, the same people that are like, America is the worst place on earth. It's hell on earth. You can't do anything. I'm just like, hey, 10 years ago, did you want to drive over here? You would shut the fuck up and stay inside. Oh, you want to go inside without your husband? Ooh, we don't do that here. And like I said, I'm not trying to do too much into it, but that's what I'm saying is like these same people that throw out the word fascism, like fucking Candy and Halloween, were like, I don't give a shit. Shut the fuck up. Make it a good game. And it's like, oh, we mean an RPG, but you can't be a villain. I'm like, Gerald, I say recently, could be like 2 years ago now. Remember, I replayed Knights of the Republic, start to finish. Oh my god, I was a Sith. I was a tyrannical fucking idiot.
The game was designed for you to be a Sith. Like, you can be a Jedi. It's really designed for you to be a Sith.
Fucking right.
It's really designed for you to fucking destroy everybody and to be awful. Yeah, yeah.
What's that? You're gonna charge me $10 extra for this fucking sword? Ride the lightning, bitch. Bah! Unlimited power. You know what I mean? Fucking, that game was so fun to be a Sith. Does Wayne Brady have to choke a bitch? It's like, you know what I mean? So like that's that. And again, that's why when like Ubisoft got bought by Tencent and people got laid off and the layoffs are coming to EA, BioWare, people are celebrating it because remember one aspect of all this, BioWare's biggest, I think one of the biggest things that pointed out how bad Dragon Age was other Dragon Age games. Remember how he said the modern day Ubisoft looks worse because of previous day Ubisoft? Again, something that's been told a million times is like compare Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag Drill to Skull and Bones. You know what I'm saying? Like Ubisoft's biggest evidence how bad it's become isn't its competitors; it's its past self.
Right.
EA,
I was going to say that EA kind of got himself into this. They got themselves into this position based off of shitty decisions that they've made.
We called this a million times. Toxic positivity, man. It's literally a tale as old as time. Emperor's New Clothes is a children's story. What feels like from centuries ago, Drell. Whereas the king walks in, fucking butt ass naked. What do you think of my new clothes? Everyone's too fearful to tell him that he's naked. Walks outside, and a fucking ignorant kid is like, "Hey, this king's fucking inbred dicks hanging out." You know what I mean? And so that's why it's like that company has suffered from toxic positivity. Something that was called again, that's kind of a new age kid Twitter speak. Something that was called back in day, which was a little more common, is like yes men. Don't be surrounded by yes men. Is this a good idea? Yes. Is this a good idea? Yes. Hey, what's a demographic we're looking for? Oh, gamers 25 and older. Oh, should we talk to them like they're children that just, they're about to go in timeout and their mom has to stoop to that level of, hey, little guy, we don't say that. Yes. Talk to them like children. Yes. So here we are. So I do like how people are excited for this. I am. And here's the thing, Drill. I feel like if BioWare gets worse, it won't get worse by gaming content. It'll get worse by transactions. And I think what a lot of people don't know about a portion of the Saudi Arabian population, there's a ton of gamers out there. Like, there's a ton of people that have massive, massive gaming collections. Now, yeah, like, yeah, duh. When you're bored, what are you gonna fucking buy? Everything. It's like, what does Saudi Arabian call a small boat? A yacht. So I get it. There's correlation between, collections and money. Blah 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 blah. What I'm saying is, I feel like people are kind of collectively in agreement where it's either going to get the gaming content is about to be a fuck ton better, or the microtransactions are about to get a shit ton worse, and there's like no in between. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with like Tencent Ubisoft. When it was rumored that Tencent was to buy Ubisoft, which is now true. I don't know. I forget real quick. I forget offhand memory. I forget if Tencent bought Ubisoft or they're not just like the majority stakeholder. But whatever. Tencent has
I think they're the majority stakeholder.
Because that's usually what Tencent does. Tencent's not known for buying people. Like they own like what was it, like a third of Blizzard. Same thing. Not known for owning something, just having a fat seat at the fucking table for decisions. So,
right.
But this is just no, they own it. Like this is theirs, and I feel bad because all the people that are saying like, oh my god, if EA gets away from their progressive morals that we've seen from them in the past couple of years, there's going to be catastrophic backlash. Yeah, with piles of money. Like no one, like, and again, like you and I were talking about this before, Pod. Spoiler: EA doesn't have more roles. We've been telling you that. Just because a company changes their fucking Twitter logo in February and June, they don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about your cause. They don't give a shit about your words. They don't give a shit about your pronouns. They don't give a shit about any of it. They pander so you can get their money. If you're dumb enough to fucking believe it, then don't be surprised when shit like this happens. I'm sorry. But I think the largest consensus is people are excited about this because there is a significant chance, Drill, that BioWare, shocker, makes fun games again.
Yeah. This is an interesting conversation, right? I think this is kind of my take on this, and I think it's a little more. There's a couple of like layers of complexity and like questionableness that I think people maybe have thought about or talked about or whatnot, what have you. So when it comes to EA, being purchased by Saudi Arabia, it's one of those things where yes, there will be layoffs, and then that's going to be unfortunate. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, we're going to celebrate that a little bit just because, like, well, that doesn't mean the people being laid off doesn't mean it was the same people that made the game bad. You know what I mean? They're just going to lay off anybody who's a double position. So I'm not on that particular side of that. It's going to, people get laid off, and this can be really unfortunate. So it's just a part of the process. Whether the quality of the games will be better, that is one of the big questions. Who knows, right? Who knows? It's possible that they might just, say, hey, this is our expectation on when this stuff should be delivered. And they may just let people shut the fuck up or they might shut the fuck up and just let people make their games, right? For people that really have a passion in it. So the biggest thing is that they have the right people in place to make the right games for, to let these things happen. When it comes to because a lot of people talk about like the progressiveness and morals and all that stuff. But for me, I'm just like, if you're someone who actually thought that you cared about any of this and not money, like, wake the fuck up. Like, you're a fucking moron. Like, what are you doing with your life? Why are you breathing?
Real quick, I love how on the same sentence people will go like, billionaires are bad, eat the rich, but EA cares about us. They changed their logo.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. But as far as like, I can understand though, as far as people being nervous when it comes to Saudi reversing it because, there is a violent history that they have, and not even just a violent history. Like, they torture the people. They torture their own citizens, and then obviously much less rights and respect to women. So I mean, those are very real things. As much as we joke about the driving thing, like there's a lot of really intense things on that. but it's one of those things where where like art that is American, if you will. There's a lot of things that are a lot less. There's that bullshit brainwashing of like America first, when in reality, a lot of these things are being purchased by other countries with money, right? So like thinking about like the big fight that happened with Canelo, and Crawford, right? That happened because of Saudi Arabia. That wasn't like an American company threw cash
Yeah.
down and was like, let's make this happen. Like that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Saudi Arabia.
And to add a few more examples to that, Saudi Arabia has a huge ownership in golf. They have like their own league now. Saudi Arabia also has big ownership in WWE, like the UFC, as Jarrell said. So that's actually where I'm at, Jarrell. Why I'm minimally like a lot of the like extreme shit about Saudi Arabia, which happens. Like, yeah, spoiler: a place to be a journalist, a place you don't want to be a journalist, Saudi Arabia. They'll torch you. And so that's where I'm at, at least when it comes to entertainment on the international level, especially American, like American being like the consumer for golf, WWE, and then UFC. I haven't
games,
seen
Call of Duty. Call of Duty is
Yeah.
the most profitable American-made game. Period.
I haven't seen, at least like I said, have yet this. I don't know if they're playing like the long game, where it's like next game 9/11/2, we did it, ha 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 ha. But and oh, by the way, another example which was controversy is all the comedians, they had that comic festival out there. But that's where I'm just like, at least for me, when I see them sponsoring or putting forward entertainment, I don't see too much, I guess you can call it propaganda. I don't see too much of their ideals being put forward. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's limitations. Like if a comic performance in Saudi Arabia, and you can't drink on stage because that's like a thing. But like I said, large scale wise, I don't see a lot of like red flags from similar instances so far of other entities they've bought, or have either full out bought or partially bought.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's a valid thing that you say there, and I kind of see that as well. You know, yeah, it's so basically the roundabout point that I have is that I understand the concern because we now have sponsorship and funding of these events and these things that we want to happen. We want great games. We want be able to see certain entertainment, like where great fighters fight finally, and not have the bullshit of different fighting companies not wanting to do it because of X, Y, and Z or whatever the case is. Like we want things to happen, and sadly, it's been folks where they're connected to some kind of gray line things to make these things happen. So it's like it's one of those. We're in a weird time where, where our hands get red whether we want them to or not, but at the end of the day, when it comes to the games and when it comes to EA, we'll see for me, I'm just curious of seeing if let's see what happens with these games. You know what I mean? There's nothing else we can do in general, right? They bought the fucking company. So all we can really do is just wait and see what the games. Let's see if these developers that are working on these titles that are supposed to be solid titles and not breathed in by this pandering, fake progressive bullshit. Let's see if we just get core, story, content, and just, good shit, good games. We'll see.
Let the product speak for itself.
Let them cook.
Yeah, I can go for a falafel. Shit. I wasn't a joke. I was just thinking of a joke too. Hey, Joel, do you think if they make a game and say their main character's from Puerto Rico, do you think they'll actually use the Puerto Rican flag or they use a Cuban flag?
That's hilarious. Yeah.
Sorry, for those of you who don't know, I like to bring up old jokes because Elephants don't forget. Bah. That, again, the people behind Miles Morales were like, yeah, he's like super gay, progressive, pandering. He's Puerto Rican, but all the flags were from Cuba. So it was just really funny to be like, we care about this. We care about you. We're an ally. And in Cuba, it was like, oh, whoops, it's has red and blue. It's brown people live there. It's the same shit. Here's the thing too. It's like Ubisoft. I feel like Ubisoft and EA in the same position, that they've hit rock bottom. We will be shocked if both companies go lower. Yeah, I mean, like it'll be baffling to see both Ubisoft and Tencent through Ubisoft and Saudi Arabia through EA make decisions, make products worse than what we've seen it. But like I said, my thing is because a lot of the themes and pandering and the quality of the product around the pandering has been so bad that if that shit get X'd out, that's rooting out some of the main causes of their recent like flops. You know what I mean? If like again, like nearly one for one, like, oh, I'm bisexual. My guy. We've been fucking aliens since Mass Effect 1. We didn't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, I think it was in Mass Effect 2, Fem Shepard can fuck Garrus. But there wasn't a fuck.
Yeah, no, you're cooking. Go ahead. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
We've been able to fuck Krogans for decades. What the fuck are we talking about? Like, oh, fucking little baby Tyrannosaurus dick. I want the achievement. Gobble gobble. And so that's what I'm saying. These concepts on what Krogans? They like dinosaurs.
Okay.
What is Shepard gobbling Krogan dick in Mass Effect 2 offensive? But that's what I'm saying is like BioWare 1 for 1 has done these themes before. So Veilguard coming out like, we're new, we're proud, we're doing this thing you've never seen before. I'm like, have you never played your own fucking games? These themes 1 for 1 have happened before under BioWare. So that's why me and a lot of people are like, well, hey, if they cut out all these people doing this self-insert pandering bullshit, their quality games can get better. Because it's like if you were to remake, well, they did. If you were to remake the Mass Effect trilogy, but with the writers they have today, those sex scenes would feel like a lecture. You see what I'm saying? Like those scenes where, you're in Mass Effect 3. Remember how Freddie Prinze Jr. voiced the buff guy, like just the generic Joe Schmo army guy? You were able to have a gay relationship with him in Mass Effect 3. No one gave a shit. All we talked about was the ending, because the ending was bad. but that's what I'm saying is like Veilguard came out like they're pioneers in this fucking realm, and it's like your own company has done this before 1,000 times better and 1,000 times more often. I want to say I don't know if you can have gay relationships in maybe I think you could. I have to play, or I might have to do some Googling, Joe. I think you're able, I forget if you're able to have a gay relationship with the bounty hunter in the first Knights of the Republic. Do you remember?
The first one? I'm not sure. Maybe.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, BioWare itself pioneered all this shit. So for them to come out again with these new horrible fucking writers, be like, look at us. It's like, bitch, been there, done that. Move the fuck on. Like, again, we've been fucking Krogans and Garrus for some time. But like I said, when these 1-for-1 themes and, what do you want to call it? Representation or themes are happening in games, they didn't lecture you. They didn't stop and be like, hey, kids, hey, gamers, when you enter a relationship with a Krogan, you bada 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 bada, and if you get insulted, do 10 push-ups. So like I said, them getting rid of all that shit, I think Ubisoft did the same thing. Like I said, we talked about it, Yusuke, most historically accurate Yusuke. Apparently he was bi and liked trans Asian dick. So like I said, Ubisoft and EA have, and EA mainly Bioware is this example I'm looking at, because EA, remember, EA owns a multitude of things, but I'm just speaking of Bioware. So because Bioware, a part of EA, and Ubisoft have put themselves sunk into a hole so fucking low, we'll be shocked if both companies continue to make worse shit. Now here's the asterisk. Here's the asterisk. You and I both know when ownership transfers like this happen, it's not overnight. It's not. So if Ubisoft was supposed to have a game come out like 3 months from now, 6 months from now, that's going to be, give or take, the same game it was developed. These ownership things really, it's going to take at least a year to kick in. Same thing with Xbox. Now we know Xbox's Activision Blizzard deal got delayed, but we all called it to where it's going to take like at least a year for Xbox to have true ownership of this. Because again, the games take like, you know, what, 6-7+ years to make nowadays, according to most developers. That, again, I doubt, overall, Joe, I'm saying is I doubt both Ubisoft and EA will get worse. And then I'm also saying I doubt we'll see the true effects of this for another few months. Because like I said, if an EA game gets announced, it's most likely going to be exactly how it was developed.
Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. So, I think that's going to just about wrap it up here for the episode. Any lasting things? Game Informer?
No, just once we're done. Once. The last thing I will say Game Informer does have an actual good cover now. Outer Worlds 2, but now people are going to hate on that game because it's tied in with the whole Xbox price increase. Because remember, Joel, real quick, remember, Outer Worlds was supposed to be the very first $80 Xbox game, and they had to go back on that shit.
And they walked it back because everyone was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel bad because now I really did like the first Outer Worlds game. And I just feel bad that's going to get locked up on this bullshit. My asterisk to why I'm not saying the Outer Worlds 2 criticism is deserved, but Avowed was shockingly a lackluster RPG.
Yeah. It looked nice, but like there's a lot of things where I'm like, why is there like nobody in the town? No one can walk. Like NPCs can walk in No Man's Sky. And Sean Murray built it in a cave. I feel like every now and again we're just not, I feel like every now and again we're just not to compare shit to No Man's Sky. I think it's warranted. Yeah.
Shit. God knows fucking Starfield can't do what No Man's Sky could.
No sir, indeed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's going to wrap it up here for the Games Play Podcast. Again, each and every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, discussing all things games. And one of your hosts, with me is Arthur Thomas.
See you in the battlefield.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you next time.